Well, we had a chance to talk with the always loquacious, but he was a little bit low-key, Richard Sherman, on a Monday today. And I'm wondering, Bob, was he a little low-key because no one throws the ball in his direction anymore? I mean, he managed a couple of interceptions and has 6, I think 2 off his total of last year. But that's one of the things that's kind of jumped out as we talked to him is Richard Sherman. You had a great line in our conversation with him, which you can check out on our podcast page, that Richard Sherman, sometimes you forget he's out there because they never go after him.
Yeah, which is weird to say because he is so present, he's very visual, and he is very talkative, as we've come to learn. And, you know, the idea that you don't hear his name until sometimes the second quarter of a game, it feels like. When you hear over the speaker some of the, Richard Sherman on the tackle, you're like, wow, you realize they haven't been thrown at him. And that's what it's become. It's become, I'm not saying he's Deion yet, but that used to be what would happen with Deion Sanders, that for a better part of the game, you wouldn't hear his name because all of the action is on the other side of the field, which has been the case for a big part of this season. Yet he does have 6 interceptions after the 2 in the Giant game. He's tied for the league lead, which is impressive because, again,
very few chances.
The lack of opportunity for him has been decidedly different than last year. So what he's done with the opportunities he's gotten speaks to how great he truly is. And we asked, has it been frustrating at all that you're not getting those opportunities that you did last year? And he basically said, no, as long as the team's winning, I don't care. I'll find my opportunities. But it was all he had the right message and the right response.
I thought that was the most important thing that he said again in the interview that you can check out on the podcast, because it would be easy for a guy with his talents and his skill set to be spending more time trying to bait a quarterback into throwing it his way. And look, I mean, he'd probably make the play 9 times out of 10. It would be that 10th time that he doesn't make it, which is what really hurts you. So to me, it's showing maturity kind of beyond what people may have thought he had to not do that, to understand this is what's best for the team, because it most certainly is what's best for the team. Kind of illustrated by the fact that here we are in week 15, and they're coming off their best defensive performance of the year.
Yeah, and I think he, above anybody understands why there's more action on the other side of the field, because that's where all the unsettling has been, right? I mean, Browner's there, Browner gets hurt. Thurman's there, Thurman gets suspended. Browner now is facing suspension. You've got your other backups, the backups to the backups there, and Maxwell and Lane. So if you're a defensive coordinator, of course you're going to test that versus going after Richard for more than 1 or 2 times a game. It makes sense, and he obviously gets it. And again, you just point to the fact that he's 2 off his total of last year in terms of interceptions. Remarkably productive considering the lack of opportunities he's had.
A guy who talked big and, like us, backed it up. That's what we do.